after the game there. An absolute Stonewall Champions League classic tonight there. Graham, can you make some sense of it all for us?
No, you don't always get what you should get from games of football. City didn't get that tonight. I think it's the most dramatic game of football I can remember since Istanbul. When you think of the score, but then add in the VAR, and whatever you say about VAR, for me it works. I mean, it adds to the drama. There's a couple of minutes where we went quiet in here and we're all on the edge of our seat. Is he going to give it? We were offering up an opinion, and it was just unbelievable. Remember, it's unbelievable entertainment.
Yeah.
It really was. I mean, you have to, unless you are not a football fan and you don't really appreciate what happened to Istanbul, that is up there with Istanbul for me. OK, no trophy at the end of it, but in terms of drama and entertainment, that was up there.
I can't imagine anything on any other channel that was more entertaining than that all year, Brian. You were watching this for our analysis, and it's just the sort of flip side of the whole thing. You were getting ready to do a piece about Raheem Sterling and De Bruyne, how brilliant they were. But Son is the hero for you after Tottenham going through tonight. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's true. Bernardo Silva as well, De Bruyne were excellent for Manchester City. But seeing the Spurs got through, I thought the key player for them was Son, even an attacking player. He was forced out onto the left wing as a defensive player, but this was early in the match. His dribbling, getting at the defence, trying to make things happen in the game. See, he had to adjust his position because they were getting murdered down that side of the pitch by Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne. And here he is late in the game, getting back and making tackles. This is into the 90th minute, winning the ball, playing a little pass Llorente, get themselves out of trouble. So it wasn't just about his attacking brilliance in the match, which we're seeing it there, the first goal, to be in the right spot, starting in the centre-forward position. I said before the match, he's got 9 goals in 10 games that Harry Kane didn't play. Here's another 2 tonight. Poor mistake by Laporte, driving on for Moura, who started the game very well. Good pick out by Ericsson, and what a beautiful finish that was. So his game, it wasn't just his attacking stuff. He did the defending stuff when necessary. And, he was one of the Spurs players that stood out. I mean, there wasn't that many of them I thought played well tonight. Manchester City, lots of their attacking players played very well, but their defenders let them down too. Another
hero is Fernando Llorente. He hasn't scored a hell of a lot of goals for Spurs, but it doesn't really matter because he's scored probably one of the most famous goals in their history now.
He'll go down in history. I question, can Company do a bit better there? Maybe there was a touch, but he doesn't cover himself in glory, and that's the shot that the referee looked at time and time again. If he'd have seen this one, he might have thought a little bit different. You'll see as it comes in, the hand is there. Possibly hits it before he hits his hip. It was that tight, it was that close. We were all very nervous.
You thought initially it should have been given, but is there enough of a deliberate action?
No, this is what the referee saw 3 or 4 times, and you can't give it on that one, and that's why it happened, because we watched the referee and we saw everything he looked at. But when we looked at another angle that wasn't given to the referee, it might have just thrown a bit of doubt, and that's how tight it was. And then, of course, at the end, VAR came in and worked for Spurs the second time. Unbelievable, and we've witnessed one of the great games of all time there tonight. It was just incredible stuff. But again, when the dust settles and the bones are picked out of this, you'll look at Pep Guardiola and you will question what was he doing down in London, leaving that kind of performance and that kind of attitude instead of what was there in its place, which was Delph, Mahrez, and a negative approach to try and just get something. And they didn't get the away goal down there. And although it was great to see this game tonight, if I'm being brutally honest, I think over the 2 ties, Man City left it in London.
That was what cost them. I wonder, though, it's just such a knife edge. If Sterling's goal had not been overturned, maybe we wouldn't be talking about London's the first leg so much.
Very kind to Spurs tonight. Spurs will be all for it.
This was just staggering moment of extraordinary swing of emotions.
Ericsson giving it away carelessly, and Aguero checks it into Sterling. Sterling does really well to shuffle his feet. Now, at this point, I mean, we see the drama on the touchline, the celebration from Pep, the disappointment from Poch. I mean, where your emotions are at this point. Well, I've been there thinking you've won it. I've been there when you think, but then to have it changed on you in such a dramatic way. I mean, you think
fine margin there, isn't it?
Think of Llorente's goal, VAR. Think of this goal, VAR. Spurs have had a good night with VAR. They really have. I mean, it's the rules of the game. And this little Turkish referee, who I think is one of the best out there, and I think he got it right. I think he got both calls right. I think Llorente's goal wasn't a handball, and I don't think that was a goal to the letter of the law. I spent yesterday morning at the VAR offices in Stockley Park offices, the complex, down near Heathrow. And it's very interesting when you see the equipment they've got there and the guys assessing, okay, it still comes down to human, error if you get it wrong. But the amount of angles they have and the way they can slow it down and home in on it, very rarely will get it wrong.
Yeah, it does minimise so much the wrong decisions. Final one to you then, Brian. I mean, it's again, two sides of the coin there. The quadruple is over for City, but for Tottenham and all the talk about moving on to the next level as a club with the stadium and everything, this must give them a huge boost.
Well, they'd only won one game in the 6 games prior to getting into the new stadium. Now they've beaten Crystal Palace, beat Huddersfield the weekend, beat Man City at home, 3 straight home wins, and got a result tonight to get them through. So they're looking forward to the rest of the season to play Ajax in the semi-final. So a few former Ajax players in their team playing against their original club. It'll be a very interesting game. I see goals in that match, 2 attacking teams.
Yeah, we're right out of time. Who goes through just from this juncture in that game? What do you think?
I'll pass. After that 90 minutes time,
who knows anything?
I'm going to sit on the fence.
Ajax, I've loved Ajax all year.
You think they'll go through, Brian?
I'll stick with Spurs now. I've been so good tonight.
I'll go Ajax. Tottenham cannot ride the luck like that again.
Brian's like a man in the casino. He's just staying on.
He did well to get changed out of his shirt, actually.
Brilliant stuff.